Hey there, everybody. This is Kristen from Teaching Balance, and I am here with you with this week's mindfulness meditation practice. And we are now in the month of December. Happy December. And the Teaching Balance theme for December is slowing down. I have explored this theme many a time in various contexts. It's been the theme for certainly the past couple of Decembers, I think. It just feels like a good time in the sort of beginning of the depths of winter to really reflect on what it means to slow down. So we're going to go into a couple of different ways of exploring that in these in these coming weeks. But I thought since this is the first week, I wanted to plant a seed to give you ample time to explore this idea. And so here's what I would like to invite you to think about doing, if you care to, in this month of December. Along the lines of slowing down, as we all know, there's a lot. And what I mean by that is there's a lot to do. And the other thing, of course, is that we are in the middle. This is not just any December. This is like all the months lately. It is a December unlike any we've ever experienced before with the continuing pandemic, etc. And so there's an interesting tension, if you will, between my invitation to you to be thoughtful about considering ways to slow down and the fact that in many ways we can't even do a bunch of stuff that we want to be doing right now. It's crazy. So here's my what I mean when I'm inviting you for this month to reflect on a very concrete opportunity to slow down. I would like to invite you to take a look at your calendar, since this is that first week-ish of December. And I'd like for you to just think about, are there opportunities or blocks of time that you might be able to just have to yourself? Now, some of you may have no problem getting time to yourself because that's just the way that your life is structured right now and your living circumstances. And for others, it might be a rather tall order to get any time to yourself between having partners and children and other responsibilities and whatever else you have going on, not even counting work. And I understand that. And so that's why I'm not trying to set this rather lofty goal of like carve out a full day of like alone self-care time and all of that. I think that's, if you can, that'd be great. Go for it. But most of us, I think, can't. And so what I'm thinking about is just a time, or if it works out for you, more than one time, where you really do just get a break. And when I say get a break, and I'm talking about slowing down, there's a lot to that. But the things that are coming up for me most strongly in this particular context is opportunities for some solitude, as I referenced earlier. And solitude doesn't mean that you have to be completely alone. It just means that you are not necessarily having any interaction. So you can be in solitude I know it's weird right now with, whatever your COVID restrictions are, but like in a coffee shop, you're in the coffee shop, you're, looking around, maybe reading, maybe doing whatever, but you're not necessarily interacting with other people other than, for your coffee order. So that's just one example of looking for or carving out some time where you have an opportunity for solitude. The other thing, which is perhaps even more obvious when I talk about slowing down, is having this time where you really aren't doing very much. So it would mean something like not checking off all those things on your to-do list. Or it would be more like just sitting and reading, or the oft referenced bubble bath or whatever it might be, or a walk in outdoors somewhere. The idea being that you're not being productive in any way. And that's really hard for those of us, myself included, who really feel this predisposition to be productive a lot of the time. And Lord knows we have plenty on our list of things to do, and it's not getting any shorter. But again, this is this idea of sharpening your saw, that, you can keep sawing away at all the trees, but eventually your blade will dull, and you do really need to slow down and rest and rejuvenate and sharpen your saw. So I could get into more details about that, but I don't want to take up too much time. Really, what it just comes down to is, can you find an hour or a couple of hours in whatever way, the weekend, take a mental health day if that's available to you, whatever it is, and just take that time for yourself to slow down, sharpen your saw, fill your bucket, and not feel bad about it. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and take these 10 minutes to sharpen your saw. Because, of course, while you are sort of being productive by doing this, you're also being radically unproductive at the same time, because we're not really doing anything other than sitting. So let's go ahead and find our posture. Either closing the eyes or lowering the gaze. I always like to remind myself to roll my shoulders back, open up the chest a little bit, and just trust yourself. Trust yourself to know what posture feels right for you for this sit in this moment on this day. And it may not always be the same, and that's just fine. If you haven't already, taking a few of those deeper belly breaths. And allow yourself really just to settle into your body, particularly below the neck. Really just feel what it feels like to be in your skin in this moment right now. It might feel pleasant or neutral. Or if you're experiencing any discomfort right now, it might even be slightly unpleasant. But we're just going to allow ourselves to be present to how it is without trying to change it, or in the spirit of productivity, achieve some kind of goal. This is the rest. This is the break where you don't try to fix or achieve, strive or attain. You also give yourself a break from evaluating and assessing and adjusting. And instead, let's just allow ourselves to deeply be with how things are right now. Allow yourself to notice where your attention has rested. Where will it reside for the next few minutes? Perhaps on the moment-to-moment observation of sounds, or sensations, or some other sensory input. And if you're noticing that you're feeling particularly scattered or agitated or something different like sleepy and lethargic, remembering that you don't have to change it in any way. As I said earlier, you are, for these few minutes of practice, just accepting things as they are. Accepting the fact that you might feel twitchy without trying to figure it out or stop it. You just notice it for the time that we choose to practice. And if anything, allowing your observation to go deeper. What parts of the body does agitated activate? What sensations would you associate with sleepiness or sadness? Always with this quality of curiosity and interest, just noticing what arises. So let's sit with this for a little bit in silence. Touching into awareness and just observing where the mind is. It's not a problem. Just observing. And if it did wander, once again, just bringing it back to the present moment and resting for the final few minutes in just this restful awareness. Awareness of the present moment. Continuing to give ourselves a break from all the planning, assessing, remembering, and thinking. So let's do that for the final minute or so before the bell. just 10 minutes. So for this month of slowing down, again, no pressure. If you don't want to slow down, don't slow down, it's fine. But in the interest of giving ourselves this break, giving ourselves the opportunity to rest, like deeply rest, and fill our bucket and sharpen our saw and use whatever metaphor feels right to you. Oftentimes it really, while we can embrace opportunities that arise spontaneously, perhaps like a Sunday afternoon or something, who knows. Nonetheless, I also think that trying to actually carve out the time and putting it into your calendar can really make it more likely that it could actually happen. So thank you as always for taking the time for yourself. Thank you for allowing me to accompany you on this practice. And I will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye.